40 days and 40 nights of prayer and fasting. That's what the Republican gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano is planning, and how he is going to cope with his soon-to-be election loss. It was billed as a blockbuster, but ended up a flop. If Doug Mastriano's big rally last weekend were a movie, its Rotten Tomatoes score would be in the single digits. We got some creative writing here. Only a few dozen supporters joined the Republican state senator on the steps of the Capitol building in Harrisburg, some of them members of the local militia group. Oh, isn't that great? The photos looked bad because it was bad. The press coverage, brutal. In fact, it was so brutal, I don't even know anything about it because I don't care. A few days earlier, Mastriano's fundraising troubles had become clear. He'd appeared on a conservative podcast and asked if perhaps U.S. citizens living abroad might consider contributing to his... That's funny. He is running for governor for Pennsylvania. The polls don't look great either. Democrat Josh Shapiro, who was so convinced that Mastriano would struggle in the general election that he ran ads to help him secure the GOP nomination. Now, again, dumbass idea. This is like one of these weird Democratic ad strategies where it's like Pied Piper bullshit. Go fuck that shit. Has been shelling Mastriano for months with a multi-million-dollar advertising campaign. Mastriano hasn't run or booked any TV ads in response. He doesn't do interviews with most media outlets and won't agree to a standard format debate. Now, I just want to say this. If Doug Mastriano wants to come on the Above It All show, I will be glad to host Doug Mastriano for free. I won't even require a fee. So you can come on and we'll have a great conversations for Doug Mastriano. We could talk about fasting. I fast all the time. I haven't done that in a while, but... Now, with the election only 41 days away, the head of the conservative group airing anti-Shapiro ads is questioning Mastriano's tactics, particularly his insistence on campaigning within an echo chamber of hardcore supporters. Hardcore in 2 words, for whatever reason. We were opposed to Doug's candidacy in the primary because we feared he would not be able to connect with the independent and moderate Democrat voters that are necessary for Republicans to win in Pennsylvania, said Matt Boulier, the head of the Commonwealth Partners, a pro-business, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Unfortunately, 6 weeks from the election, said Tuesday, I haven't seen anything to suggest we were inaccurate in our assessment. Republicans, already in charge of the state legislature, have a chance to take complete control in Harrisburg and to reshape the state's policies on abortion, voting, and other issues. Now, I just want to say, this guy, Mastriano, was one of the first guys, like in September, I think, of 2020, to jump in on the election conspiracy stuff. He was laying the groundwork for when Donald Trump would start promoting the big lie. He was trying to say that, oh, we should kick back to the states. We're going to force Pennsylvania to go for all this kind of stuff. This guy, I just want you to know, that's the guy who 2 years ago was big on that shit. So, but some Republicans are worrying that Mastriano was squandering the opportunity in one of the country's most consequential races. Would-be allies have remained on the sidelines, having concluded by now that Mastriano win in November might require a minor miracle. Coincidentally, divine intervention is just what the candidate has in mind this week. On Monday night, Mastriano's campaign posted on Facebook a photo of 2 hands under the words 40 days of fasting and prayer, with the dates September 29 through Nov 8. Election day. Interceding for our elections are stated our nation. It's stated along with a verse from a book of Isaiah. Who the fuck's Isaiah? Starting in a few days, Mastriano wrote in the post. One Facebook supporter responded, "It'll be my honor to fast with you." Now, I just want to say this much. Now, I have experience with fasting. Now, I'm willing to bet Doug Mastriano, and I'm willing to bet a lot of Doug Mastriano supporters might be able to last 40 days. But I'm just saying this much. Right? If you aren't properly managing, like, supplements, water intake, hell, you're not going to really be able to do much campaigning if you're fasting for 40 days. Right? I'm just saying, man. Like, if you're going to start a 40 days of fasting and prayer and give no, lead time, you're just going to announce it, starting tomorrow, I will start fasting. You got to, have a guide or something. Maybe he's working on it. I don't know. Well, you got to have, a guide. Reminder to take these supplements every day, drink at least this amount of water. I'm just saying, man. While it is unclear who Mastriano expects to start fasting on Thursday, the recent entreaties seem to indicate that his campaign, which epitomizes what scholars call Christian nationalist ideology, has fallen on hard times. The messaging has grown increasingly erratic, sometimes arguably bordering on nonsensical. One of Mastriano's main attack strategies these days is emphasizing that he is taller than Shapiro. I mean, a lot of people have said that I'm taller than Shapiro. You know, I'm not sure which Shapiro we're talking about here, but he and his supporters have also at times reverted to earlier campaign themes, such as emphasizing the opposition to abortion with no exceptions, that might have helped during a GOP primary, but that are unpopular with the wider electorate. He has also revived his attacks on fellow Republicans. So this guy's campaign is spinning out into some garbage. It's fun to watch. But I saw the headline 40 days of fasting and prayer, and I thought that was hilarious. So that's really all I care about. If you live in Pennsylvania, vote for the other guy. I don't really know much about him, but I know he's the other guy. So that's pretty much all I need to know. But 40 days of fasting and prayer, I mean, maybe God's going to listen. God's thinking like, well, I mean, I'm not going to intervene in this race unless at least 40 days of fasting happens and prayer. God, that's the requirement. That's the secret cheat code. You know, it's like the IDDQD. You just have to win the race by praying to God for 40 days and not eating anything. That's how you win the race, as we all know. Campaigning, nah. Actually, you know, trying to provide things for the electorate, no way. Just fasting and prayer, that's all you need. So, there you go. You know, lots of chat messages going on here.